intellectuals, faculties, professors, participants, and attendees from all over the globe. Greetings to one and all. We have all gathered here today to kickstart the 24th International Seminar on Combating Violence Against Women and Children, Causes and Consequences, put forward by the Kerala Law Academy Law College in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, CALSER, and IQAC KLA. Myself, Niben Philip Matthew, along with my co-anchor, Nair A. Manibala, will be the student moderators for this session, and we take the privilege to welcome each and everyone present virtually.
It is my utmost privilege to extend a gracious and cordial welcome to our distinguished assemblage on this virtual dais. The Kerala Law Academy Law College, a venerable institution of excellence in legal education since 1966, has been a shining exemplar of academic distinction, nurturing a plethora of brilliant minds who have evolved into exemplary citizens and integral stakeholders in the global legal community. The Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, CALSER, is the research wing of the Kerala Law Academy, which is conducive to igniting nascent thoughts and ideals. As we continue to build upon this illustrious heritage, it is our distinct pleasure to host the 24th International Seminar, a flagship event that will bring together esteemed experts, scholars, and thought leaders to share insights, explore new frontiers of knowledge, and forge meaningful connections, ultimately enriching our understanding of the complex dynamics shaping the legal landscape.
Violence against women and children is a pervasive act which is profoundly named as an awful human rights violation resulting in trauma, fear, and inequality. Because of the lurid impact of this topic, today's seminar seeks to illuminate the aforementioned theme related complexities, its analysis, consequences, and the existing measures, exploration of innovative strategies, adding to legal frameworks for the protection and empowerment, ultimately fostering a more equitable, augmented, just society where women and children can thrive, free from violence and fear.
The art of welcoming is the art of loving. Now, it is our esteemed privilege to be graced by the presence of Dr. Dakshina Saraswati Ma'am, Associate Professor and General Secretary of the Kerala Law Academy Mukar Society. This luminary scholar, adorned with a PhD from the University of Kerala, has illuminated the academic canvas with 18 radiant publications, numerous presentations at national and international seminars, and exceptional leadership in orchestrating over 20 seminars, workshops, and conferences. A pillar of strength, a guiding light, and a steadfast supporter. Dr. Dakshina Saraswati Ma'am's wise counsel and encouragement have been the wind beneath the wings of countless initiators at our institution, rendering her an invaluable treasure of our academic community. With great reverence and admiration, we invite Dr. Dakshina Saraswati Ma'am to join us and deliver the welcome address, setting the tone for our virtual seminar today. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Manibala. Good morning, one and all. Most respected Dr. Harpreet Kaur, Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Jodhpur, Dr. N.K. Jayakumar sir, former Vice Chancellor, Nuals Kochi, Vandana Chowdhury ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Social Work, City University of New York, Advocate Nagaraj Narayan sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy Law College, and Member, Bar Council of Kerala, Professor Anil Kumar Kesar, Director, Administration, Students and Faculty Affairs, and other distinguished invitees, teachers, participants, and my dear students. A warm welcome to one and all present here. I am extremely proud to address you all on this auspicious occasion of the 24th International Seminar on Combating Violence Against Women and Children, Causes and Consequences, put forward by Kerala Law Academy Law College and Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, along with IQAC KLA. Violence against women and children is a grave injustice that demands our collective attention and action. Today, we have gathered here to address a concern that threatens the well-being of our families, communities, and society. It's a matter of pride and privilege to welcome the legal dignitaries gathered here to participate in this event. Now, I would like to move on to the formal welcome address. It's a great honor to welcome Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur ma'am, the Distinguished Vice Chancellor of National University, Jodhpur. Ma'ams, your journey exemplifies brilliance and dedication. Since becoming Vice Chancellor in September 2023, you have inspired both the academic and legal communities. Ma'am's remarkable career includes roles such as Professor of Law and Registrar at National University Delhi and Chair Professor at Leban's University, Hanover. Ma'am's international achievements are truly exceptional. As a Fulbright Nehru Scholar and Fellow of International Visitor Leadership Program, you have elevated Indian legal scholarship globally. Ma'am's academic expertise spans company law, competition law, and international business law. As a director of the Center for Corporate Law and Governance and the head of the India chapter of Daughters of Themis, you continue to lead critical discussions on governance and women in business. Dr. Harpreet Kaur ma'am authored numerous influential books, including Business and Corporate Law, Competition Law, and Transfer Property Act. Your contributions have enriched global legal discourse on topics like corporate fraud and sustainable development. Ma'am, your journey is one of not only personal achievement but also empowering others. Your courses and mentorship have profoundly impacted legal education. We are privileged to have you with us today, ma'am. Your presence and insights will undoubtedly inspire us all. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy and on my own behalf, we are truly grateful and we extend our heartfelt welcome, ma'am, to this session. Now, I take the privilege to welcome Dr. N.K. Jayakumar sir, former Vice Chancellor, Nuval Kochi, a distinguished legal luminary, former Chairman of University of Law Reforms Commission and current Chairman of Kerala State Law Reforms Commission. He has informed us that today he is not able to join us due to an unforeseen emergency. With an illustrious career spanning vast experience and academic pursuits across 18 foreign universities, Dr. Jayakumar's accomplishments are truly impressive. As a sole professor in law, he has been recognized with the prestigious National Fellow Award by Indian Council of Social Science Research. His contributions to the field of law has also been honored with the Honorable Justice V.R. Krishnaiah Award. Sir is a prolific author, having penned 11 books and over 60 research papers. His expertise has guided over 10 doctoral students and he has directed 2 research projects. His distinguished career has also included roles as Secretary of Kerala Legislative Assembly, Advisor of Law to the Chief Minister of Kerala, and currently Chairman of the Kerala State Law Reforms Commission. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy and on my own behalf, we are truly grateful and we extend our heartfelt welcome to you, sir, into this session, even in his absence. It's my honor and privilege to welcome Dr. Vandana Chowdhury, ma'am, to this event. Ma'am is an associate professor in the Department of Social Work at the City University of Newark, College of Staten Island, where she has been a faculty member since 2012. A distinguished scholar, she holds a PhD in social work and disability studies from the University of Illinois at Chicago, along with advanced degrees from the University of Delhi. Her groundbreaking research explores disability in Global South, focusing on the intersections of digitalization, neoliberal governance, and disability justice. Her ethnographic work in India examines the impact of digital technologies on disability welfare systems, shedding light on issues of access, equity, and justice. Her widely published work has appeared in leading academic journals and has earned prestigious accolades, including 2016 AFLIA Award for Distinguished Feminist Scholarship. Beyond academia, she is a dedicated advocate and consultant, contributing to global disability policy initiatives, including collaborations with the United Nations and other organizations. Her expertise and contributions continue to shape conversations around disability justice and culturally competent practices worldwide. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Vandana Chowdhury, ma'am. We are thrilled to have her today, and on behalf of Kerala Law Academy and on my own behalf, we are truly grateful and we extend our heartfelt welcome to you, ma'am, into this session. Now, I would like to welcome Srimati Vidya V.V. Ma'am, Associate Professor, Kerala Law Academy, one of the faculty conveners to this esteemed function. Her steadfast support and vibrant contributions have invaluable to the success of this event. Ma'am will be proposing the vote of thanks in this event. A hearty welcome, ma'am. Next, we have with us Advocate Nagaraj Narayan Sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy, Member, Bar Council of Kerala. Sir's deep commitment to academic excellence is evident in every facet of his work. As a mentor, he has touched the lives of countless individuals, instilling in them a passion for learning and a drive for success. It is with great honor and gratitude that we extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. We are also privileged to have with us Professor Anil Kumar Kesa, Director, Administration, Students and Faculty Affairs. Sir's exceptional talent and steadfast determination combined with a deep understanding of the evolving landscape of education makes him an invaluable asset to our college. Sir, with open arms, we welcome you to be a part of this event. We extend our warmest welcome to Professor Harindran K., the Principal of Kerala Law Academy Law College. His multifaceted persona encompasses not only his role as an educator, but also as a guide and visionary leader, enriching several aspects of our esteemed institution. Sir, it is with genuine pleasure I extend my warmest welcome to you into this event. Next, I welcome Professor Anil Kumar G. Sir, Vice Principal, Kerala Law Academy Law College. Sir, your leadership and guidance and dedication is fostering an educational environment has left an indelible mark on all of us. We extend our heartfelt welcome to you, sir. We are truly honored to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to Professor Dr. Ajita Nair L. Ma'am, HOD, Kerala Law Academy, an esteemed member of Kerala Law Academy family for more than 25 years. Ma'am's active engagement in the academic and extracurricular activities are a testament to her deep-rooted passion for education. I wholeheartedly welcome you, ma'am. Furthermore, I would like to express my warmest welcome to Kasturi J. Ma'am, Assistant Professor at Kerala Law Academy. Your unwavering support has been instrumental in this event. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our faculty conveners, Srimati Priya M.K. Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, Srimati Kavya Mohan, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, Shibu PG, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, for their unwavering hard work, support and passion, which has brought this event to this extent. As we conclude, I would like to express my sincere welcome to all the participants, speakers, IT team, technical staff, and student conveners, Manpriya Chillan, Gautam S.R., Harinarayan S., Banusri J.S., Neeraj S., Gauri Jyotish, Rose Riba Prakash, Govindas Vaidyan, Harikrishnan R., Bharati Prasannan, Ginny Thomas Shako, Gautam Krishnan A., and the student moderators of today's session, Nimin Philip Matthew and Nayare Manibala for their contributions. Your enthusiasm and true dedication have made this event a resounding success. I hope the seminar will be a fruitful experience for everyone, and I welcome every one of you to this function. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for such a warm welcome. I take this opportunity to graciously welcome you two into this session. It is with great pleasure that we welcome Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur, ma'am, the esteemed Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Jodhpur. A distinguished scholar with a rich academic background, ma'am has been a Fulbright Nehru Scholar and has held prestigious positions such as the Chair Professor of Indian Studies at Leibniz University in Germany. Her spectrum of knowledge and contributions to the field of company law, securities regulations, competition law, and corporate governance through her numerous publications are truly commendable. We are honored to have your presence, ma'am. With colossal pride, I invite Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur, ma'am, to take over the session with your respected inaugural address. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, and good morning to everyone. Professor K.C. Sunny, Advocate Nagaraj Narayanan, Director, Kerala Law Academy, Professor Harindran, Principal of the Kerala Law Academy, distinguished speakers in the inaugural session, faculty members, participants, and students. It's a pleasure for me to deliver the inaugural address in the 24th International Seminar on Combating Violence Against Women and Children, Causes and Consequences, which is organized by the Kerala Law Academy, Law College Thiruvananthapuram, in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies, Research, and the IQAC of KLA. Though my expertise lies in the business laws areas, but being a woman, I think this topic is close to my heart, as has ever been close to my heart. So, in my inaugural address, I would like to say that it is the high time that the lens of studying the crimes and violence which are perpetuating in the society must be relooked. Mere categorization of any act or omission as the offense is taking away the lived experiences of the victims and negating their discourses. There are multiple factors or common threads of identity of the victims. I would like to draw attention towards one such factor, that is crimes based on the gender of the victim. Over a period, scholars have identified that there are certain acts or omissions which are not targeted randomly to any victim. Rather, their victim is a specific community sharing the identity based on their sex, gender, race, or any other common thread amongst the victims. When the identity of the victims is based on their gender, that is categorized as gender based violence. And gender based violence is a pervasive violation of human rights that disproportionately affects individuals based on their gender, with women and girls being the most impacted. And it is a great and grave infringement of human rights, a serious barrier to social, economic, and gender equality. And it has been highlighted as one of the most widespread acts of violence globally, claiming millions of victims of all, among all the socioeconomic groups, cultural backgrounds, and geographical locations. This problem threatens physical, psychological, and emotional health, while in many instances the damage prevents progress for individuals and impedes their general development also. So, rooted in deeply entrenched societal norms, gender inequalities, and power imbalances, gender based violence manifests in various forms, including physical, sexual, psychological, and economic abuse. And it transcends geographical, cultural, and socioeconomic boundaries, affecting millions worldwide, as I said, and perpetuating cycles of fear, trauma, and inequality. The scholarly discussions on gender based violence emphasize its multidimensional nature, including its manifestations as domestic violence, sexual harassment, human trafficking, honor based violence, and harmful practices like female genital mutilation, witch hunting, and child marriage. And these acts are often underpinned by the patriarchal systems that perpetuate gender hierarchies and normalize power imbalances. The economic and social impact of gender based violence is also quite significant, and it has been reported in some countries that the costs of violence against women can account for as much as 3.7% of a nation's GDP, more than what many governments spend on education. Moreover, violence not only damages the immediate health and safety of survivors, but also perpetuates cycles of violence across generations. As children exposed to violence are more likely to become victims or perpetrators in the future. And data from multiple resources, they have confirmed that in India, gender-based violence is common and deeply ingrained in the socio-cultural way of life. The National Family Health Survey 5 estimates that 33% of women aged between 15 to 49 years in India have experienced physical violence, while 6% have experienced sexual violence at some point in their lifetime. And it is estimated that 1 in every 3 women experiences intimate partner violence, and 42% of women in India have faced one or another form of violence anytime in their lifetime, which includes, as I said, physical, sexual, or emotional violence. And this data is from the UN Women and UNICEF also. The statistics of gender-based violence, as has been reported by National Crime Records Bureau, are also alarming in India. Rajasthan specifically recorded 40,738 cases of crime against women in 2021, which was reduced to 28,801 in 2023, but the POXO-related offenses, they were increased. So it ranked second in the country at that point in time. And the report has also given this statistics that there were 6,337 cases of rape, which was highest nationally in Rajasthan. And if we look across the country, there were 1 lakh cases of domestic violence. So these figures very clearly point out that there are challenges which are persisting, and there is an urgent need for targeted interventions to address gender-based violence in not only in Rajasthan but beyond also. And the literature has also shown us very clearly that how women from lower socioeconomic backgrounds and marginalized communities and rural backgrounds, they are facing gender-based violence. So there is an increasing recognition at the global level that addressing gender-based violence is central to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 5, which aims at attaining gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. And this SDG 5 explicitly calls for elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls in public and private spheres, including trafficking, social, sexual exploitation, and harmful practices. Other international instruments like CEDAW, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and Istanbul Convention provide benchmarks for state accountability. India has multiple laws to address the issue. For example, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 and Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which are two pivotal enactments towards the commitment of our country towards a gender just society. While talking about gender, after the pronouncement of the most famous Nalsa judgment, it is high time that we expand the ken on the subject, and the understanding of the term should be expanded beyond the binary, and the society be not divided into us and them. Rather, the true essence of the opening words of our preamble, we the people of India, should be promoted and highlighted. As law fraternity and scholars, the responsibility is on our shoulders to protect the rights of individuals of our country, but how? I often wonder whether simply by implementation of laws one after the other will serve the purpose. If so, if they would have served the purpose, there would have been no crime in the country, or there should have been a considerable, reduction in the crime rate. We all are aware of the reality of our society also. And while there are many legal and policy frameworks to prevent and respond to gender-based violence, a lack of coordination amongst agencies often defeats the purpose. The result is that survivors have to deal with a very fragmented service delivery system where agencies operate in isolation from each other without any coordinated strategies. Inconsistencies, therefore, tend to occur in the levels of support which is afforded to victims. And the long-term implication of such disjointedness is that it denies the survivor an opportunity to pursue the full path of recovery and reintegration. So along with the regulations and the rules, what we also need is to immediately look into the multi-sectoral coordinated response mechanism. That is to say, a systematic coordinated response between the police officers, healthcare workers, legal aid members, and other relevant stakeholders who are attending the survivors of gender-based violence. A holistic approach where a wide array of stakeholders can not only prevent but also facilitate smooth rehabilitation and recovery services for survivors. Most often, survivors cannot receive support services due to a general lack of awareness and weak interagency coordination. So without clear standardized protocols to guide the departments in a unified approach, the tendencies to operate in vacuum is created, and with limited collaboration to support the duplication of efforts, missed opportunities for timely intervention, and a general lack of effectiveness. So, a multi-sectoral response allows law enforcement, healthcare providers, social services, legal aid, and community-based groups to work together in a structured way that prioritizes the needs of the survivor while optimizing the contribution of each stakeholder. Having said that, simultaneously as a society, we should also be accountable for our role. It is not only the duty of the legislature to enact law and the judiciary to protect the rights of individuals, but also the corresponding duty of the citizens as well to introspect and rethink the segregation of society on the rigid traits of gender roles. We have to start at the grassroots levels and critically examine our conduct and behavior towards each other. Because how we behave and interact with each other is highly influenced by the set gender norms. As a society, we are collectively falling, I would say failing, when a 13-year-old girl is married off in the name of custom and a 12-year-old boy is deeming appropriate to tease a woman. Change need not be something very drastic or visible, rather culmination of small steps, because it will prove to be more beneficial for the upliftment of our society. When children are nurtured on the ideology of equality and inclusiveness, a better society is bound to be the byproduct. With these, some statements that I wanted to give in the inaugural address, I thank once again everyone, especially Professor K.C. Sunny and other faculty members of Kerala Law Academy for inviting me and giving this opportunity to meet all of you. First of all, this is my first interaction with the Kerala Law Academy, and also share my opinion as a woman and a legal academic on this special and very important critical topic for all of us in India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your profound insights. We are thrilled to welcome Vandana Chowdhury, ma'am, an esteemed associate professor in the Department of Social Work at the City University of New York, with a PhD in Social Work and Disability Studies from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Ma'am's groundbreaking works on disability in Global South, digitalization, neoliberal governance, disability justice, and culturally competent practices has earned her accolades, including the 2016 Ophelia Award for Distinguished Feminist Scholarship and Praxis in Social Work. Adorned with recognition, her extensive publications and expert consultations serve as a testimony to her dedication in social justice. We eagerly anticipate her inspiring words and valuable perspectives. I am extremely delighted to invite respected Vandana Chowdhury ma'am for the keynote address. Ma'am, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really privileged to be here. And I believe that this platform is really important. High time for us to be talking about violence against women and children. And I hope there is a lot, sort of to be gained here today. And very sort of nice to be here in person, and I'm looking forward to also interacting with all the stakeholders in person later. So I'm going to be, sharing a little bit about my own work as a disability studies scholar, as a woman with disability, as a disability scholar with disability. So I wanted to center my remarks today about women with disabilities and looking at some of the historic sort of context of women with disabilities and violence against women with disabilities. So women with disabilities still remain very, very much marginalized within both the feminist movement as well as the disability rights movement. we of course have a great debt to the feminist movement that really has provided us with the liberatory, emancipatory feminist philosophy, especially focusing on social constructionism, that helps us to see that or unravel that disability, gender is a social construct. It's not a biological construct. So women's realities have been shaped by cultural, economic, political, and media and political economy at large. And gender roles have been historically constructed through religious, cultural, political realities, and in such a way that there is a systemic hierarchy, that's kind of ingrained in the society, which creates a dominant and a subordinate gender roles, and so feminist philosophy has really helped us to see that women's roles have been socially constructed, and women therefore have been socially marginalized, not on account of their embodied bodily vulnerability, so to say, but those social structures and philosophy and ideologies against women. So, and there's also, personal is political, of course, is another feminist ideology that has really helped us to think about women's issues, that how they're not restricted to personal domestic sphere, but everything personal is political. And that's why we have to look at domestic sphere publicly, from a political lens and from a policy lens. And this ideology, feminist ideology, has really helped us to unravel, the ways in which society creates and constructs social marginalization for women. However, disabled women have remained at the margin of feminist philosophy or feminist movement in India, but it also globally. So because so much of the women's rights movement have focused on demanding equal rights based on equity, independence, and autonomy of women and women's, representation, that women with disabilities have been perceived as, quote unquote, not full have not been seen as having full personhood, and have been perceived as vulnerable, in need of care. And that sort of has been, has come in direct sort of, has led to the exclusion of women with disabilities from feminist movements. And also within the disability rights movement, the goal has been really to advocate for disability rights as a uniform, as a sort of homogeneous category. So the issues, though very important, related to accessibility, inclusion, anti-discrimination, have been chartered, through the disability rights movement internationally. Again, women with disabilities issues have kind of remained also at the margin of disability rights movement. So women with disabilities in a way have been intersectionally marginalized from both of these important arenas. And so there has been a real move towards integrating an intersectional disability justice framework that incorporates both feminist as well as critical disability perspective. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that what is feminist disability studies perspective that we so badly or so sorely need today to address issues that confront women with disabilities both in India as well as beyond. So feminist disabilities studies perspective basically brings together these strands that have been left by feminism and disability movement in a way that it really centers feminist as well as a critical disability lens to look at the issues of women with disabilities. So in terms of like how disability movement needs to focus on gender realities that have remained silent, as well as how feminist movements need to incorporate disability, embodied disability perspective into gender analysis. So it's really about intermingling of analysis of sexism with ableism, because these two ideologies of oppression really work hand in hand. Sexism and ableism draw upon each other to oppress, suppress women who are disabled, women who are non-disabled, men who are disabled and non-disabled as well. Because, you know, ableism is really the root of lots of a lot of like oppression in our society. What is ableism? Ableism really is about privileging ability. That is to say, the idea of being productive, fit, physically fit, mentally fit, being productive, and being hyper productive to contribute and to be, part of the capitalist society, right? So it's about really valuing ability. And when we operate on the ideology of hyper ability, we tend to exclude people with disabilities. And so ableism has been levied or leveraged to discriminate women as well, because women traditionally have been seen as quote unquote vulnerable or physically or emotionally vulnerable, in need of protection, right? So there's been this whole ideology of seeing women as less able than men. So it has, the ideology of ability has been leveraged to sort of oppress women or to overprotect women at the same time. So we really see like ability or ableism has been used to oppress women, but also, of course, ableism oppresses people with disabilities directly as well. And sexism too, oppresses women with disabilities. So women with disabilities are that way doubly oppressed, if we may say that, or in the context of global South and developing countries, triply oppressed, on account of gender, disability, and socio-economic resources, or the lack of it. And all these compounding factors really contribute to systemic violence against women with disabilities and beyond. Of course, women as well, but I'm talking about like how all these factors come together to uniquely oppress and exclude women with disabilities. I mean, some of the systemic ways in which disability oppression persists in our society is through inaccessibility, right? Like access to physical spaces has been really, really hampered in India and other developing countries too, because if you look at our infrastructure, we hardly see disability inclusive infrastructure like stairs or elevators. Everything in our built environment is designed for people who are able-bodied or able-minded. So that excludes people with disabilities and opportunities for people with disabilities. So if the environment is not accessible, people with disabilities, and more so women with disabilities, don't have access to education if the schools are not accessible. If they don't have access to education, they don't have access to livelihood or employment, which makes them even more vulnerable and dependent financially and socially and emotionally on their caregivers, on their families, on the system, on the state. And all these like vulnerabilities are built into our infrastructure in our society, right? So and then disabled people get labeled as vulnerable, but it's actually not the people with disability that are vulnerable alone. It's the environment, the socio-economic built environment that creates that vulnerability and fosters or promotes, or we can say violence against them. So if we look at some of the statistics on, violence against women, I mean, there are 10 times more, 10 times women with disabilities are vulnerable, 10 times more vulnerable than non-disabled women to be sexually violated. And the thing is that this sexual violence or the vulnerability is both, sort of happens at the public domain and as well as in domestic domain, in the informal relationships of care and dependence, right? So there's a lot of research that highlights that women with disabilities are at a very high risk of sexual abuse at home, or within the circuits of caregiving, because there's a lot of dependence, and the dependence too is structural. It's not because the person's body mind doesn't function fully, but it's because we don't have resources to allow, or to provide assistive technology that can make them independent, right? So much of this dependence, which leads to violence, is systemic. And if we understand it is systemic, in a way, it's a good news. It can be addressed, right? So it's socially constructed, right? So the liberation can also be constructed. It's not about that it's a natural phenomenon. It is a social phenomenon. It can be eradicated through just policies and programs. And women with disabilities, furthermore, experience other kinds of violence, not like sexual violence, of course, financial violence. Financial violence at the hands of their partners, at the hands of, because they may not have access to employment or livelihood. So they tend to depend more on their family or their spouses that can actually that can kind of bind them in circuits of dependence and abuse. We also find very high level of abuse, especially against women with intellectual disabilities, because again, disability is not a monolithic category. It's a very diverse group of people with varying kinds of physical and mental attributes. So especially with women with intellectual disabilities are at a very high risk of abuse, both at home as well as in caregiving institutions where they're supposed to be protected and provided for, become the host for extreme violence and abuse. So there's a lot of cases where we find that women were abused in their care homes, at the hands of staff that provided care for them. And also there is where can women with disabilities actually go? Because if the law or the legal system, the criminal justice system too, has not been very sensitive towards towards like special needs of people with disabilities vis-a-vis their protection. So, for example, we find that even the police, for example, does not have sensitivity or awareness about how to address people with disabilities, like how to help them to say file a report. People with disabilities may have embodied difficulties. So, for example, someone is deaf, right, and they have to report a case of sexual violence. Now, that person, the police may not have a sign language interpreter in the police station or at the court. And that's why, there is this kind of like a disability barrier or accessibility barrier that will prevent them, or that tends to prevent them from, accessing justice, right? So justice in a way, or the institutions of justice, need to become much more sensitized to disability, or have to incorporate or look at ways in which they can be more inclusive in incorporating, voices of disabled people, We also find, especially, and this is not unique to India, I would have to say that, based in the US as well, similar kinds of situations happen, where, say, deaf prisoners, for example, or somebody who was arrested who was deaf, did not have access to sign language interpreter and was arrested by mistake, and their hands were handcuffed, and they wanted to use sign language and they were not able to use sign language because their hands were tied up, and the police thought they were pretending to be deaf, right? So this is not unique to India, but I can certainly, I've heard of cases even in India as well, that how disabled, both men and women could be at a greater risk of exclusion from criminal justice system, police, court systems, and things like that. Yet we do have legal mandates. So we have Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act that was passed in 2016, 2017. It has several provisions, and in fact, provisions for women with disabilities. So it, as a law, it follows a twin track approach, that there are provisions for people with disabilities, but there are also extra safeguards for women with disabilities, including in arenas of violence and violence prevention and protection. However, implementation, as we know, seems to be far from ideal. So I think there are ways in which we need to see how we can actually use the law to really protect and promote women with protection for women with disabilities. And we also, India is signatory to the United Nations Convention on Rights of People with Disabilities, which was passed in 2008. And that convention has different specific sections that protect women. So there's Section 4, there is Section 12, and there's Article 12 and Article 4 that particularly talk about protection and legal protections, and, especially with regards to women as well, and children, of course, women and girls. So, and India is a signatory to the United Nations Convention. So we're kind of legally bound to align our systems so that they're commensurate with the international standards. We also have a Mental Health Care Act that came out in 2017. And we also have other legislations, disability legislations, that need to actually focus much more on violence against women. Similarly, there are legislations that protect women, in terms of women, violence against women. Those laws need to be intersectionally operationalized to protect women, disabled women. So, for example, Domestic Violence Act and the other legislation to protection at workplace. So those legislations too need to include women with disabilities in their fold. So that, we need to tackle the violence against disabled women, not just in one arena, but it has to be a concerted effort based on intersectional approaches of disability justice, women's rights, feminist, ideology, and the ideology of disability based on disability rights, which really sees disability not as a form of medical deficit or a disorder, right? So that's like a traditional medical model, which sees disability as a form of biological or physiological illness or a deficit or a disorder within the person's body, right? So that's the medical model. We really have to step away from that to seeing disability from a social model of disability, which sees disability as a result of interaction between persons' impairment and the oppressive social environment or social institutions like economic, political, cultural, and other kinds of social barriers. So, for example, person with physical disability is not disabled just because their limbs don't work, but they're more hampered in their mobility because there are no ramps or elevators that allow them to be more mobile. So, really, kind of, we have to move away from medical charity approaches to really seeing disability as a human diversity and address disability oppression from a structural social justice perspective. And I really, I'm happy that, I had, I've been able to advocate, I hope, to really, for us to think about in every arena we work in, disability is an important intersectional element. When we're talking about children, we talk about children with disabilities, women with disabilities. Every category of identity intersects with disability. So I really hope that we're able to take on that intersectional disability justice lens in whichever legal like advocacy arenas we are working in. So I think on that note, thank you again so much for giving me this platform to advocate for disability rights and feminist disability framework. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful keynote address. Gratitude is the resplendent blue that unfolds from the innermost recesses of our soul, its delicate petals swaying gently in the breeze of reflection. In these fleeting yet eternal moments, we are reminded that events such as this one serves as luminous milestones on the grand tapestry of life's journey, poignant reminders of the divine providence that guides us and the enduring fidelity of the universe, which whispers secrets of love, hope, and transformation to our willing hearts. Now, we are truly honored to have with us Srimati Vidya V. Ma'am, Associate Professor at the Kerala Law Academy Law College. Ma'am is deeply admired and respected by everyone and has always been a source of inspiration, knowledge, and support for students and colleagues alike. With a calm and welcoming presence, Ma'am creates an atmosphere where learning becomes enjoyable and ideas are encouraged to grow. Ma'am approaches every responsibility with a sense of calm patience and positivity. The ability to turn challenges into opportunities through dedication and kindness is a true reflection of Ma'am's exceptional character. It is with deep respect and gratitude I now invite Srimati Vidya Vivi Ma'am to deliver the word of thanks for this auspicious inaugural session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Manibala. Respected dignitaries, Dr. Harpreet Kaur Ma'am, Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Jodhpur, Dr. N.K. Jayagumar Sir, former Vice Chancellor, NUALS Kochi, Vandana Chaudhary Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, City University of New York, Advocate Nagraj Narayanan Sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy Law College, and Member, Bar Council of Kerala, Professor Anil Kumar K. Sir, Director, Administration, Students and Faculty Affairs, and other faculty members, dear colleagues, and esteemed participants. It is my honor to deliver the vote of thanks at this inaugural session of International Seminar on 24th International Seminar on Combating Violence Against Women and Children, put forward by Kerala Law Academy Law College and Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, along with IQAC KLA. First and foremost, on behalf of the organizers, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Dr. Harpreet Kaur Ma'am, Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Jodhpur. Your presence has enriched our seminar and your expertise has enlightened us. We appreciate the time you took from your busy schedule to be with us today. Your contributions to the field of law are immense, and we are honored to have had your share, your insights with us. Thank you once again, Dr. Kaur, for your gracious presence and thought-provoking contributions. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. We are deeply grateful to Dr. N.K. Jayagumar, sir, former Vice Chancellor of NUALS, Kochi, for gracing our inaugural event with his presence. Thank you for your valuable time and guidance. Your presence will be remembered and cherished. Now, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Vandana Chaudhary ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Social Work, City University of New York, for sharing her valuable insights and expertise with us. Thank you for your thought-provoking session and for inspiring us with your remarkable work. We appreciate the time you took to be with us and wish you continued success in your endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. Special thank you to Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, Associate Professor and General Secretary, KLA Moot Court Society, for her warm and thoughtful welcome address. Your words have beautifully framed the purpose and significance of today's event, creating a sense of anticipation for the knowledge sharing that awaits. I also extend our deepest gratitude to Advocate Nagaraj Narayanan sir, Director of Kerala Law Academy and a distinguished member of the Bar Council of Kerala. Your unwavering support and visionary stewardship have been instrumental in shaping the academic excellence of our institution. We are sincerely thankful for your guidance and commitment to our collective journey towards excellence. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and non-teaching members, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, sir. Next, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor K. Anil Kumar, sir, Director of Administration, Student and Faculty Affairs, whose prudent leadership and unwavering support have cultivated an atmosphere conducive to creativity and intellectual conversation between our students and profound professionals in the legal field. Thank you, sir, for your dedication to the advancement and prosperity of our institution. A special acknowledgement to Professor Harindran K. sir, whose visionary leadership as principal has transformed Kerala Law Academy Law College into a dynamic hub of academic excellence and scholarly endeavors. Thank you, sir, for your exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to excellence. I would also like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Professor G. Anil Kumar, sir, Vice Principal, Kerala Law Academy Law College, whose dedication to academic excellence and institutional advancement has set a benchmark of excellence. Your leadership has fostered a culture of collaboration, innovation, and continual growth within our esteemed institution. A sincere appreciation goes to Professor Dr. Ajda Nair Elmam, Head of the Department, Kerala Law Academy, whose commitment to excellence and mentorship has guided us through the successful planning and execution of this exceptional event. Your encouragement and support are deeply valued and have contributed immensely to the program's success, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also take this opportunity to thank other faculty conveners, Srimati Kasturi J. Ma'am, Assistant Professor KLA, Dr. Dakshina Saraswati Ma'am, Associate Professor KLA, Priya M.K. Ma'am, Assistant Professor KLA, Srimati Kavya Mohan Ma'am, Assistant Professor KLA, for their unwavering hard work, support, and passion, which has brought this event to this extent. As we conclude this event, I would express my sincere thanks to all the participants speakers, IT team, technical staff, student conveners, Manupriya Chalan, Gautam SR, Harinarayan S, Hanusri JS, Neeraj Gauri Jodish, Rose Riba Prakash, Govindas Vaidil, Hari Krishnan, Haradi Prasannan, Ginny Thomas Chako, Gautam Krishna A, and student moderators Nibin, Philip Matthew, and Naire Manibala for their contributions. Your enthusiasm and true dedication have made this event a resounding success. We extend our heartfelt thanks. Behind every successful event is a team of unsung heroes, and today is no exception. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the tireless efforts of our technical and administrative staff, IT team, and all faculty conveners. Your hard work, often behind the scenes, has ensured the flawless execution of this seminar. Finally, to all our participants and attendees, a heartfelt thank you. Your enthusiasm and active engagement is what makes events like this so impactful. We look forward to the insightful discussions also. With that, I extend my sincere thanks to everyone who has contributed in making this event session a success. Let us continue to explore, learn, and grow together as we navigate with this evolving field. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for expressing your heartfelt gratitude for this inaugural session. With that, we have come to an end of our inaugural session. As we embark on this seminar, let us remember that the responsibility to combat this violence lies with all of us. As we navigate this complex issue, let us remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Our collective action, driven by empathy, justice, and a commitment to human dignity, can create a world where every woman and child can live free from violence and fear. Let us work together to dismantle the structures of oppression and build a future where justice, equality, and compassion prevail. On behalf of our institution, I would like to thank all the dignitaries for joining us and enlightening us with their valuable words. Your words have motivated all of us to keep our heads held high to justice and change for the good. I firmly believe that all of us were keenly eared through this event to hear your valuable words. Thank you, respected dignitaries.
I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the tireless team of individuals who have worked diligently behind the scenes to ensure the success of this event. Your selfless dedication, unwavering support, and expert guidance have been the backbone of this endeavor. My deepest gratitude is reserved for Advocate Nagaraj Narayanan Sir, Director of the Kerala Law Academy, Law College, and Professor Anil Kumar Kesar, Director of Administration, Students and Faculty Affairs, the Kerala Law Academy, Law College, for providing us with this exceptional platform. To each and every one of you, I offer my fervent thanks for your kind cooperation, patience, and presence. May the memories of this special day remain with you forever. I also request everybody to join for the valedictory session scheduled at 5 p.m. today. And this is Nair A. Manibala in tandem with my co-anchor, Nibin Philip Matthew, signing off with a smile. Stay safe, stay inspired, and thanks a bunch.